All right, so these self-driving trucks, they're here already. So trucking, it's like on its way out the door. If you don't think that, I don't know what to tell you.
While there's a safety driver behind the wheel, these trucks are operating completely autonomously.
And check it out, that safety driver isn't going to be there for long. They have self-driving cars with no driver at all over San Francisco. If you don't think that can happen to a semi truck, you're delusional. It can. And you know what? It probably already is, like on some local routes.
They belong to Aurora, a self driving technology company hoping to launch with no one in the cab by next year.
Today, if you want to take strawberries from California to Dallas, it takes about 3 days. With the Aurora driver, you'll be able to do that in about 24 hours.
Yes, self-driving.
Okay, so this is from last year. So I don't know if they were successful, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. They're going to be successful. Sooner than later, they're going to be successful. And this is going to affect the trucking industry. You think it's hard to get a good trucking job now? Wait till this shit pops off. When this shit pops off, you know how flooded the job market for a truck driver is going to be? And not just that, you know how easy it is for them to just let you go and get someone else when this shit pops off?
Driving trucks can see better, they can see further, they're not getting tired, they can operate
Exactly.
24/7.
That means that a truck that could normally do 450 or 500 miles a day could do 1,000 to 1,100 miles a day.
Yep.
That significantly increases the profitability of running that truck.
The
Yeah,
introduction
exactly.
of
It turns
autonomy
into a
in
money-making
trucking could
machine.
have a major impact on the industry.
Oh,
Our
yeah.
economy runs on the trucking industry. As the industry says, if you bought it, a truck brought it.
It's a huge ecosystem with over like $1 trillion of spend just in the US.
The pandemic highlighted
Good question. And who is going to put on the snow chains? Well, they could probably hire part-time workers, you know, to just do that, seasonal workers. I mean, why not? Here's the thing. That's a good question. I don't need to hire a truck driver to put on some chains. You know what I could do? If I'm a self-driving fleet and I'm running from say I'm running from Fresno to Reno going over Donner Pass and I got to put on those chains. Well, I could just hire, you know, some illegals, right? With a green card and a work visa or whatever. But then they technically wouldn't be illegal, but you get what the fuck I'm saying. I could hire Bob and Todd from down the street. I could hire them seasonal, you know, and just keep them over there in Soda Springs on Donner Pass to chain up. And that's it. And then, oh yeah, then who's going to take them off? Well, yeah, I could put one at the top of Donner Pass and then one at the bottom of Donner Pass to put the chains on and then take the fuckers off. And that's it.
the importance of supply chain, and demand has only continued to climb.
Goods movement probably doubled over the last 3 years, and the whole industry has been sort of racing to have enough capacity.
CNBC went behind the scenes with Aurora to see its self-driving operation in Texas.
It's probably
We've
better than
driven
a
right
human.
around about 500,000 miles, pulling loads for customers. I think we're over 1,800 trailers delivered.
It has been a
Wow.
challenging road for self-driving trucks, with several startups throwing in the towel.
They're already doing it. No, there are too many variables and circumstances to driving a semi in traffic, and I will park in front of it, put on my four ways, open the hood, and wait. Watch a semi try to drive around me. They will drive around you. And here's the thing. If you do that, a cop is gonna fucking do something to you. You can't just stop traffic like that. What, in a protest? Did you forget last year when you were in Idaho and hated the snow? Well, yeah, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. These trucks don't care about that. They don't care. Uh-uh. You could still shut these trucks down, you know what I mean, and scoot it down the highway, right? You know what happened that time? Management told me I was on my way from one town to another. I think from like Twin Falls to something, you know what I mean? And I was going right into a blizzard. And management called me and said, "Hey, you need to park the truck. You're headed right into a blizzard." And they said, "Do not move the truck until we call you and tell you it's okay." You know what they did? They all went home for the weekend. And I was stuck right there. I had to get a hotel. You know, we don't need to worry about that with these self-driving trucks. You know, I'm telling you, dude. These things, they most likely operate better than a human being in all conditions: traffic, snow, rain. They're better than a human.
The technology has taken far longer to realize than initially anticipated. And even as driverless cars hit the roads, it is yet to be seen how well they'll function in the wild.
Across the industry, many folks expect that it will take a couple of years before we'll even see point-to-point deliveries without the help of engineering talent.
I think it's tremendous opportunities for driver assist and improved safety, less driver fatigue. But
There's no driver fatigue.
80,000.
That's the thing about it. Well, that's the thing about it. There's no driver fatigue at all. There's no driver. Here's the thing. So this will be the end of your trucking job. Even if you work local, this is going to affect the whole industry. Okay, it just is. Not in a good way. You know, when I went to Night Transportation, because they're the ones that are heavily invested into this self-driving stuff, in orientation, the guy that was holding the orientation for us new hires, he was like, "Hey, so you guys have got no more questions? No questions, huh? You guys don't want to hear about the self-driving trucks? Go ahead, ask. You could ask." He was just like that. And someone was like, "Well, yeah, what's up with that, man?" He was like, "Oh, you don't got to worry about it. You know, that's like 20 years away, right? You know, yeah, nah, you don't got to worry about it." Oh, yeah, it will work local. I'm telling you, dude. These fucking things are going to be the end of trucking. Done. Okay, it's going to take over OTR as well as dedicated, regional, line haul, all this shit. It is. These self-driving trucks. Why do I need to hire you? You come with so much overhead and risk and liability. I don't need to hire you and worry about a class action lawsuit. I don't need to hire you and need to worry about you providing for your family. No, I could just get one of these self-driving trucks that's going to be out there all the fucking time making me money. And it's not going to give me no back talk. I'm telling you. No, it's going to work local too. It is. Okay. So whereas, look, say in food service, all right? Now, I have yet to see a robot do food service. That could happen. It can't happen. That's like some cyber shit. You know what I mean? That's like some fucking next level shit. It could happen. But you know what that'll do? Now I don't need to hire a driver. I could just hire, you know, someone to go from store to store to store where this truck's going to be to unload the freight. And instead of putting them in the tractor trailer to whereas they're a risk of a lawsuit because they're in a tractor trailer, and what if they get hurt or some shit? No, it's the self-driving truck. I don't got to worry about the self-driving truck suing me. So I could just put my worker at this restaurant, at this restaurant, at this restaurant, all throughout the local route, pay him half to just unload these boxes off the truck. There's food service. Now I don't got to pay him 120 grand. I could just pay him 50. Dude, that's what this is all about. It's all about making money and saving money and not hiring you.
Trucks in my lifetime running up and down the road just as harmless, gentle giants.
You can get a ride in a self-driving vehicle in San Francisco. You can
Yeah.
get one in Phoenix.
Yeah.
We're on the road pulling loads for customers every day.
Every
will be the
day.
next transformation in that space, and it's going to make it easier to get around. It's going to make it safer to get around.
Yeah. It's going to be safer than an actual person. Fuck the CB radio. Why do I need a CB radio? I'm a self-driving truck. If I had the money to invest in one when this shit pops off, I would buy one. I would love to buy one.
Aurora was founded in 2017 by several self-driving industry experts. Sterling Anderson, who previously headed Tesla's autopilot division,
Yeah.
Drew Bagnell, who led perception and autonomy at Uber, and Chris Urmson, who helped start and led Waymo.
Waymo. Yeah.
We're on the mission.
These self-driving cars, they're really good. I see them in the city. Every now and then they hiccup, but for the most part, they're really good. And for the most part, they're safer than a human driver. It's the same with the semi-truck, dude. You know, human drivers are really bad. They're deadly. They get angry. They do road rage. These self-driving vehicles, they don't do any of that.
Mission to deliver the benefits of self-driving technology safely, quickly, and broadly.
In 2020, it acquired Uber's self-driving unit and received a $400 million investment in exchange for 26% of the combined company.
Wow.
Aurora plans to work together with Uber for ride-hailing of its self-driving cars.
Uber and Dara, they want to focus on building the network. How do you connect people with the means to get where they want to go? We want to focus on building the driver. And so for both of us, as we talked about the deal, it just made too much sense not to do.
Yeah,
Following
there's a
year,
lot of money
Aurora
in
went
it.
Public through a SPAC, raising $2 billion. The company spent the first few years working on autonomy for cars, but had its eye on trucking as well.
Yeah,
Cars are a lot easier to operate, but we knew
because the profits in a self-driving truck are through the roof, dude.
that the software and the system was ultimately going to have to work on trucks as well. We saw that as a huge opportunity. And so we designed that in.
Aurora says its autonomous system will bring a number of advantages over a human driver behind the wheel.
It'll
Yes.
improve fuel efficiency. By driving at 65 miles an hour versus 75 miles an hour, something like 20-25% improvement in fuel economy.
Yeah, I don't got to worry about some truck driver. Oh, how come my truck only goes 65 or 55 in California? No, it's going to go 65 to save me some fuel. And I don't need to worry about you and your pension and your health care. I got a self-driving truck. Fuck off, you know? I was in LA last week and one of the robot delivery carts went by and someone put a sticker across the sensor. Oh, yeah, that happens all the time. In the city, those self-delivering robots with the food, the homeless people break into them all the time and steal the food out of it. Self-driving vehicle can't anticipate if a kid is going to run out in front of it. Well, you know what's going to happen to that kid? That kid's going to get run over, you know, and squished. You know what I mean? Those things are going to happen. Those things happen with the human driver. The only difference is, who are they going to sue? You know? I mean, yeah, they'll still sue the company. But, dude, it's still a lot better than paying out someone's pension, paying out someone's 401k. You know what I mean? Having to comply with all of the laws of hiring somebody. It's still a lot better. How will that breakdown get handled? Does a little drone come out and put out safety reflectors? No. It's you know, breakdowns are going to be a lot easier to manage with the self-driving technology because these are going to be smart vehicles. When a breakdown is about to occur, when a sensor is about to go out, these are going to be way more heavily computerized. They're going to know when a breakdown is about to occur ahead of time. And it'll park itself, and roadside will come out, or a tow truck will come pick up the truck. That's how a breakdown's going to get taken care of.
It doesn't get distracted. It doesn't get tired.
Yeah.
There's huge safety benefits.
Exactly.
About 500,000 accidents a year that trucks are involved in.
Yep.
And we think we can reduce that dramatically.
Yeah.
From a consistency of reliability perspective, I think
These
we'll
are a
help to
lot
kind of
safer.
deliver a more consistent service. We're expecting to be able to kind of get a level of utilization out of the vehicle that we just don't see today in traditional transportation.
That's true.
The company plans to offer its
That's true. It takes so long to move shit across the country because there's a human in there. You take the human out, now you're really going to get your Amazon package the next day. Because lately, they ain't been coming the next day. They've been coming like next week.
autonomous truck system as a subscription.
If you're FedEx, for example, you'll call up PACCAR and you'll say, I'd like to buy a Peterbilt 579, which is one of these trucks, and I'd like to buy it with the Aurora driver installed on it. We expect the Aurora driver to cost comparable to what a human driver costs. This is one of our self-driving trucks.
But it's going to be cheaper. You know why? Because like I said, I don't need to worry about my self-driving truck unionizing. I don't need to worry about my self-driving truck suing me in a class action lawsuit or in one very expensive lawsuit. I don't need to worry about the self-driving truck going on YouTube and giving me bad press. No, the self-driving truck is just going to be out there. It's just going to be out there making me money.
Over here, it's got a combination of lasers, radar, and camera that allow it to see the world. If you look up at the top here, they got an oval-looking thing in the middle. That's our proprietary First Light LiDAR. That allows us to see out on the road further than anyone else can.
Yeah, further than a human.
400+ meters.
Aurora
Yes,
says its self-driving trucks are
They're safer.
feature complete and are now undergoing testing to refine the software.
At the end of the first quarter, we reached the milestone of the Aurora driver having everything that it needs to be able to run autonomously. Our goal now is to make those capabilities better and better through the end of this year as we skate towards that 2024 goal of commercialization.
These are already out on the road doing loads. So those of you who say this can't happen, it's already happening. Okay. If everything gets automated and no one has a job, it doesn't matter how cheap it is. You as a customer don't have any money. Well, you're going to have to go on OnlyFans, sell dope, go break into someone's car, steal someone's catalytic converter, something. Crime is definitely going to go up. When that shit happens, when these jobs start getting automated left and right, because it's happening with fast food too. We'll get into that if I have time, if they don't call me in right away.
Texas, it's the largest U.S. intercontinental freight market. Almost 15% of all freight in the U.S. is moving on that Texas triangle. So Dallas, Houston, San Antonio.
Also happens to be next to our most important trading partner, which is Mexico. So it plays a vital role into the U.S. economy.
We knew that the place to be was Texas. It's the heart of freight in the U.S. The road right here is about 4,500 trucks a day.
Aurora has been training its trucks on routes between Dallas and Houston and Dallas and El Paso. They drive fully autonomously with safety drivers behind the wheel ready to take over if something goes wrong. It is hoped
people get so pissed. People get so pissed at these safety drivers. I've seen it on Facebook in these trucking groups. Someone will post about their job at the self-driving company, and you'll get all these truck drivers like, well, you know, your fucking job's on the chopping block too. And dude, they're pissed. They're fucking pissed.
it's hoping to remove drivers
Because they're
altogether
taking
by
your job.
2024. Trucks start and stop their trips at terminals outside of the cities, where the customer will drop or pick up a trailer and complete the urban part of the delivery.
Yeah.
Terminals are where we...
Someone said his truck has automatic chains, or the trucks at his company have automatic chains. Yeah, they have automatic chains. And guess what? That's AI right there, and it's only going to get better. It'll probably put chains on a lot better than a human.
We base our autonomous vehicles, and also where we do scaling, fueling, downloading software. We have maintenance on site.
Oh, yeah.
Our goal is to, over the course of the next 10 to 20 years, to grow our network across the United States.
So we're here at our Palmer.
Yeah, truck drivers they're good. They're outdated. They just are. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the thing. You just flip the switch and there's your chains, just like you said. They're going to be able to do that from the office.
Palmer, Texas hub. This is the first automated truck hub on the planet. We have about 15 trucks operate out of here, about 10 of them running every day. We've got scales on the ground. We can use these big QR codes to calibrate the truck just to make sure everything's good with the sensors.
Yeah.
And then we can get it out on the road.
And like, here's the thing about this AI stuff, right? These self-driving trucks, the more that they're on the road, the better they get. The better the software gets. How AI works is the longer it's in operation, it learns off of itself, and it just gets better and better and better, and way better than a human. It's not going to go down, the Colorado Rockies and miss all of the runaway ramps and fucking kill people at the bottom of the mountain. A self-driving truck isn't going to do that, right? I could see people sabotaging the trucks. Oh yeah, they're gonna. Dude, people are gonna fucking blow these trucks up, dude, because they're gonna be so mad. Because it's gonna affect the industry.
When a AV arrives in a landing zone,
Dude,
our end goal is to turn
your
that
livelihood
vehicle
right
around
here.
and get it back out as soon as possible. We fully envision this to be a 24/7 facility in the very near future.
Aurora's model is interesting. It's probably the likely model that we see initial autonomous trucking experiences take place.
We've got an operator whose job it is to pay attention to what's happening on the road around us. And on the right seat up here, we have another operator whose job is to pay attention to what the Aurora driver is thinking.
While on these missions, we will take notes of the truck's performance.
This lady right here, she better have a pension. Because her job is to get rid of her job. They better be taking care of this poor girl.
I remember when we first started in surface roads in Houston, we used to have problems making left turns, right turns when there's a lot of traffic. But in the past couple of months, that's been a lot better now.
Because it gets
Aurora
better.
first started hauling loads for customers in 2021, working with companies such as FedEx, Uber Freight, Schneider, and Werner.
Something like 50 loads a week right now, and we'll be growing that over the course of the year. It's not really about making money at this point. It's really about making sure that the product we're building actually serves its purpose.
We've moved hundreds of thousands of miles and probably close to over 7 million pounds of cargo that we had moved on those Texas lanes.
We'll start here.
Why the fuck would you work for Schneider or Werner after hearing that?
Between Dallas and Houston, and then quickly we'll add Dallas to El Paso.
Yeah.
And then we'll grow east and west across the Sun Belt, and then ultimately across the United States.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, it's already happening. Look, the lobbying group, the American Trucking Association, is going to lobby this to where, they're going to pass laws that are going to, with the end result of these laws, just like they passed the ELD, they're going to pass all these self-driving truck laws that are going to deregulate this shit, and you're going to start seeing these trucks everywhere, and then that's when you're going to lose your job.
Expects expanding to future markets to be easier.
England, Knight Swift, all of them.
Autonomous trucks capable of adapting to new regions.
Yeah, so it'll be small amounts of incremental validation we do, but basically it'll be a copy paste. And we're going to work with our customers to figure out where's the most useful place for us to go next.
Over Donner Pass, over the Rockies, Montana, Wyoming.
There have been dozens of companies that have started up with the hope to create autonomous trucking operations. But really over the last 12 months, we've seen a number of those companies shut down.
Several startups working on self-driving trucks have struggled. Starsky Robotics, one of the earlier companies to focus on self-driving trucks, closed up shop in 2020. Embark, another early entrant focused on trucks, laid off 70% of its staff earlier this year.
Yeah, but it's
eventually
still
selling its
coming,
technology
dude.
to Applied Intuition for $71 million. And Too Simple, a San Diego-based autonomous truck startup founded in 2015, is leaving the US market to focus on China and Asia.
We really expected that.
And you know what that means in China and Asia? They're still doing the same thing. They're going to get these self-driving trucks. You know why they're probably focusing on China and Asia? Because you don't have to worry about all these laws that you do in America in China. You can operate your business a lot cheaper in China, to the point when it gets so good and the AI is so good, the self-driving truck is so good, then you bring it back to America when it's more mainstream and you're already worth billions of dollars.
Most companies are going to fail. And so from day one, we've been thinking about how do we make sure we survive?
All of this has been expensive. Aurora lost $1.7 billion last year.
It's not yet proven to be commercially viable. So it requires an enormous amount of capital investment just to basically operate and continue to move its R&D function along. It's going to be a long road before investors get any real payback.
Even if autonomous trucks succeed, they will be bound by regulators, potentially restricting where they can operate.
But you know what else took a long time for investors to see any payback? Bitcoin, Uber. Uber is worth so much money now, dude. So much money. Especially Uber Eats. This right here is a really good investment. If I had money, you know, and if I was one of those investors that could get into this shit, I would be pouring fucking all of my money into this.
One of the realities of having
the mega carriers
is that you need the regulatory environment and framework to be supportive of it.
And you know what? They're going to get that regulatory environment and support. They're going to lobby for it, just like they lobbied for the ELD, to where they don't have to pay you. Look, truck drivers, like I said, they're already working for free for 2 hours at the dock that they don't get paid for. You know, sometimes they don't even pay you the fucking detention at all. You don't get paid for sleeper berth, off duty. They don't want to pay you at all. They don't even want you. Why would I want a human that could sue me employed at my trucking company? I want this. This is what I want. I want Aurora.
If a state like Texas or Kansas or Illinois or California passes laws that actually prohibit autonomous trucks. We've seen situations where state legislatures can be very activist, particularly taking a standpoint of pro-labor in recent years.
California lawmakers
they don't
are
like
advancing a bill requiring safety operators behind the wheel of heavy-duty autonomous trucks.
We've worked with the folks at
eventually they're going to get rid of that
federal level, with NHTSA, with FMCSA. We've worked with the California DOT, and we spend time meeting with policymakers and legislators as well, so that they can understand the opportunity and the risks.
A lot of questions remain about who is responsible if a autonomous truck gets into an accident. The trucking companies themselves have a lot of questions, and if anyone understands the liability of running trucks, it's the trucking companies. They have been subject to these massive amounts of lawsuits.
Then there is the concern.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you, dude? This is going to keep them from getting sued.
From drivers.
Not all the way, but you're not going to have some fucking dumb driver doing some stupid shit like road rage or drugs behind the wheel.
Talk to my colleagues about, and they're worried about getting replaced by a machine.
Because they're gonna.
Trucks are incredibly controversial for truck drivers because they fear that their jobs could immediately go away. And while that's unlikely to happen, it's certainly going to stir an enormous amount of emotion among the driver population.
He is so full of shit. That's unlikely to happen. That's what this is all about. I love it when they fucking say bullshit like that. You will have less money there coming for your job. Oh, yeah. They're already coming for the job. They're already taking the job, dude. That self-driving truck, that's one less job for a truck driver that's going on right now. And they got a whole fleet right now, dude. And they're moving loads for Schneider and Warner right now. Right now.
Working as a truck driver is a challenging profession with high turnover.
They
The
will work
average
with the
truck
politicians.
driver
They paid
in
them off.
the US
Yeah,
10
exactly.
years ago was 35. 10 years ago it was 45. Now it's 55.
The driver shortage has been talked about forever, but it's really a retention problem because every year there's 450,000 new CDLs. Many of them are called 90-day wonders. After 90 days, this is not for me.
Yeah, they
Spending hours
bounce.
on the road, it's very exhausting. Also, you don't get to spend much time with your loved ones. You don't get the work-life balance also.
Yeah.
Aurora
Yeah, the job trucking, it sucks. It does.
sees its autonomous trucks helping alleviate the driver shortage and doing some of the harder parts of the job.
Drivers, instead of doing long drives, there would be more drivers doing short local deliveries. I worked in the
Bullshit. Bullshit. Those job markets are going to get fucking flooded with CDL holders. It's going to be pretty much like just straight luck to get one of those jobs. Because once OTR is pretty much affected by this, because this is what's going to happen. Okay, these self-driving trucks, this is going to slash the pay. Now that they got these self-driving trucks, you're not worth that much money. So they're gonna slash your pay. Okay. And then that's gonna take everyone out of OTR. Now you got these local jobs, right? Oh, you're gonna be able to go local. Yeah, you and everyone else is gonna be going local. So good luck getting that job, dude.
in the oil and gas, and we used to drive about 70 hours a week. And I know I've seen a lot of drivers tired and fatigued while driving.
Yeah.
But now coming to Aurora, we building this technology that would help drivers drive less on the road, less accidents.
It says that
Yeah, and less pay. And then to the point where they're not even gonna need you. Why would I want to hire anyone when I could get a self-driving truck?
there will be lots of ancillary jobs to support self-driving operations as well.
Think about it like airport command centers where planes come in and they tell them where to land and things like that. So we have drivers like me who look forward to like working in this department.
They must be paying that guy good, really fucking good. Who will block the fuel island and leave piss bottles next to the pumps? Yeah. Who's going to be picking up these sex workers at the truck stop? No more of that. What will all the truck stops do, and all the people that work at them? They'll lose their job. That's what they'll do.
And
They're
even
gonna
with
lose their job.
autonomous trucks on the roads, they won't replace drivers entirely.
You don't see anybody talking about autonomous trucking north of Interstate 40 where the snow falls. And the kind of trucking that I do, I'm pretty sure it will never be replaced by autonomous trucks.
Nope.
We see
It already is. It already is. Democrats are pro-worker, Republicans are pro-corporation. Vote accordingly. They're both pro-corporation. That's a very dumb comment. That's a very stupid comment.
automated driving complementing people driving. And my expectation is that if you are a truck driver today, you will be able to retire a truck driver.
I believe that, but like I said, I think because of this AI, we're probably the last generation of truckers that are going to be able to retire.
Over the next couple of decades, it's going to be incredible to see the improvement in safety on our roads. It'll be dramatically easier for us to move goods through the world.
It's important that the autonomous trucking,
Yeah, and they're going to make billions of dollars.
Industry, if they
and you're going to lose your job.
Succeed, really spend an enormous amount of effort on the front end trying to drive the right regulatory framework for success. As this technology takes off, you're going to see a lot of backlash that happens.
We have to head down this road and see where it leads us. Some people say AI can mean the end of civilization, but it could be a brave new world that's full of wonder and reduced fatalities, reduced accidents. And it could be a whole new spate of problems that we don't see coming.
Yeah, like you losing your job. Nope, look at legislation. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, look at legislation. Do we have paid family leave? No. No. They work for the donors. They don't work for you. Okay? That's stupid to think that one party is better than the other. They both fucking suck, dude. Flippy fast food robot. Yeah, this is another one. Where's it at? And look, it's happening to fast food. It's happening to fast food. It was the Dems that passed NAFTA. We could talk about Democrats and Republicans in a second, but this AI stuff, it's coming, dude. It is.
This robot named Flippy runs the fry station at a White Castle outside of Chicago.
Yeah. That fucking sucks,
With its
dude.
mechanical arm and using computer vision technology, Flippy can cook everything from French fries and onion rings to cheese sticks. White Castle said it plans to add 100 Flippies to its kitchens nationwide.
Fuck! I used to work the fryer at Jack in the Box, dude.
Able to operate that French fry area during peak hours, and now we are able to only have one person operating that area.
Would you like to try the mac and cheese bites today? All right, thank you. If the screen's correct, it is 827. Second window, please.
Fast food jobs are demanding, quick moving, and sometimes even dangerous. But not for robots.
When you look at the restaurant industry, it's a little bit late to the party in adopting automation and robotics in particular.
So far, the restaurants that are using them or trying them out say that this automation really only has to do with helping relieve boring tasks from workers' plates.
No. It's the same thing with trucking. Flippy's not going to unionize. Flippy isn't going to go outside with picket signs, and take all my workers with them. Flippy isn't going to sue me when Flippy gets burnt by the fryer. Flippy's not going to come into work drunk or hungover. No, and Flippy doesn't need to go home. Flippy's going to be there from fucking sun up to sundown, and I won't have to hire you because I got Flippy. That's what this shit's all about.
Help make their jobs easier.
It's not about making the job easy. It's about taking the fucking job, dude.
There's a lot of reports out there kind of guesstimating how many jobs could be replaced by these robots, by automation.
Up to 82% of restaurant positions could to some extent be replaced by robots. Automation could save U.S. fast food restaurants over $12 billion in annual wages.
I know, dude, that sucks, and they're still going to charge $10 a burger. Yeah. That's the worst part about it. The burgers will probably actually go to $12.
And restaurants are also struggling to find workers. American restaurants are down more than 560,000 jobs, or about 4.6% of its workforce from their pre-pandemic levels. About a third of Americans work in a restaurant as their first job, and half have some restaurant work experience.
Yeah, the economics of this are very, very compelling.
I'll tell you what, one thing Flippy's not going to do, let's just be honest. If you go to fast food restaurants, then a lot of the people that work at those places are just dumb. Not all, but a lot of them are fucking stupid. How many times do you go, especially to a drive-thru, order your food just to get home and see that, what the fuck? I didn't order any of this. Or they messed up your order. You told them no lettuce, and they put a fuckload of lettuce on there. You told them no cheese, and there's 2 slices of cheese on there, right? Human beings fuck up all the time. And this really happens, I've noticed, when there's a bunch of young dudes working there. When there's a bunch of young guys at night, you know what they're doing on their break? They're going out into the parking lot and they're getting high. That's what they're doing. And then they come back and they fuck up all the orders. I've noticed that. When there's a good amount of young ladies working in there, that's when my food, for the most part, doesn't get fucked up. But Flippy is better than all of them. All of them, dude.
Compelling. If you take minimum wage just around the $20,000 per year mark, that's the cost of one robot.
Other companies
Exactly. So I don't have to hire all these people at minimum wage. I could just buy one robot and no more minimum wage, no more wage at all. That all turns into my profit. And I won't eat at an automatic restaurant. I'm telling you, dude, the service will probably end up being a lot better.
companies in this space include Picnic, that has a robot that makes pizza, and Autech, whose machines make sushi. So what impact will robots have on the fast food industry and the livelihood of its workers? CNBC got a behind-the-scenes look at restaurant robot maker Miso Robotics to find out.
You say, ever watch a tractor trailer back into a Burger King? No robot is going to do that. You're talking about like the food service trucks that deliver the freight? Yeah. And as a matter of fact, the self-driving truck will probably be a lot better at doing it than a human.
Miso Robotics got its start in 2016 with a handful of engineers in a Pasadena, California garage. 2 years later, the company launched Flippy at a nearby Caliburger restaurant. Flippy's first job was turning over a hamburger patty after it was placed on a grill by a human chef.
Yeah.
The company quickly pivoted to fried foods, rolling out a portable fryer station for baseball games at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, Flippy's at the Dodger Stadium.
Can Flippy keep up with in between innings at a Dodger game and everybody goes to the concession stand? Can we meet that demand?
In 2021, Miso launched Flippy 2 using a mounted rail system, AI, and computer vision technology that can identify and track food as it moves through the structure.
Damn.
Although it has a camera, tablet, and robotic arm, engineers say the real tech is in the software.
The hard thing to get right about this product.
And the thing about it, like I said, just like the self-driving trucks, is the more and more it works itself, the better and better it gets, to the point where it is better than a human. You know how many times I've ordered shit that would go in the fryer, like fries, and they're overcooked or undercooked? It happens. Or they forget to put salt on it, on the fries. McDonald's is already doing that in cashless cashiers or whatever. Yeah, like you just order it at the kiosk now. It's great.
Product is having the computer vision, the algorithms that plan the cook cycle, and the software that manages the robotic motion to all work together so that it's as reliable as a refrigerator and it does the job.
Food is dispensed directly from the freezer
And it doesn't
into a
sue you.
basket. The robot's computer vision identifies the type of food and places it in the appropriate fryer. Once the food is cooked, the basket is taken out of the fryer, shaken, and dumped into a holding area where it is bagged by a worker.
For those of us who have been in a restaurant,
The fuck, dude, just imagine if a week before that restaurant rolled that out, that was your position in the restaurant, was working that fryer and doing that exact job. And then they tell you to step back. I don't know why I'm laughing at this, dude. I laugh at fucked up shit. I'm sorry. That's just what I do. All right. They tell you to step back, and here comes Flippy. Fuck. Dude. Taco Bell's the same way. Yeah, they got the kiosks at Taco Bell too.
restaurant. This is exactly the same process that is done today by a human.
He's constantly playing like a multi-frame game of chess in his mind, understanding where to be next, so his sequence of movements is precise and he doesn't undercook, overcook food.
But what about the cost? Miso charges restaurants about $3,500 a month for a Flippy 2 under its robot as a service model. The company charges an additional fee of about $10,000 for installation. By comparison, the median hourly wage of fast food workers in the US is just $12.07 an hour. There were roughly 11.7 million restaurant workers in the US in 2022.
But Flippy's 2 is different.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about this. Yeah, they might be cheaper up front, but in the long run, this guy right here is way more expensive because of the risk of getting sued in a class action lawsuit, of them getting hurt and suing the fuck out of you to the point where you have to shut down that location. Unionization. They might want a pension. All of a sudden, Flippy is a lot more cheaper than this guy who's going to who wants to form the Burger King Workers Union with a pension and company paid health care. No. The robot is like, nah, I'm not going to unionize. I'm not even going to go home. I'm going to be here all day.
11.7 million restaurant workers in the U.S. in 2022.
But
It's Flippy,
2
dude.
is different. Flippy 2 works around the clock. We have many 24-hour locations where
See?
Flippy 2 is installed. Flippy doesn't call in sick.
Built
See?
in Columbus, Ohio, it takes Miso about 6 weeks to manufacture one Flippy 2.
That's so fucked up. That is so fucked up that he said that. Flippy doesn't call in sick. What a fucking asshole, dude.
Around the clock, we have many 24-hour locations where Flippy 2 is installed. Flippy doesn't call in sick.
Built in Columbus, Ohio,
Oh my
it takes
God.
Miso about 6 weeks to
What a
manufacture
dick,
one Flippy
dude.
2. The current off-the-rack mechanical arm is the same type designed for car factories, and Miso
Yeah.
says they cost $15,000 each, plus another.
Yeah, I saw those in the Tesla factory. Tesla, like half of the factory is automated robots.
Another $5,000 to modify with additional grippers and sensors. Last year, Miso partnered with robotic arm maker Ally Robotics and hopes to start producing its own arm in 2023. The company
Would you say the cost is no one will have jobs to buy their crappy food? Yeah, dude, they're gonna have to come up with something, dude, like universal basic income or something. You know, because if here's the thing, they're not gonna automate all the jobs. They're not. No, dude, Teslas are actually really good cars. They're really fucking good. I've been in quite a few of them. But here's the thing, if they automate enough of the workforce, people are going to be out on their ass. And guess what else happens when you automate the workforce like that? They're no longer paying taxes because they're not working. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And you don't think those people are going to turn into criminals? When you have no money, when you lost your job, a job that you've been in all your life, and you've been automated out of your job, what happens? You're going to sell dope. You're going to break into someone's car. You're going to rob somebody. You need money, even if you're homeless on the street. You got to get by. Looks like that catalytic converter's mine. I just lost my job to Flippy.
The company also makes a streamlined version of Flippy 2 called Flippy Light, as well as a drinks dispenser named Sippy. Flippy Light is currently
Sippy.
being tested in restaurants by Chipotle.
And what Flippy Light is designed to do
Fuck.
is to take one item that requires frying and just cook the heck out of it all day long.
With about 25,000 shareholders, Miso has so far raised
Damn.
more than $70 million in crowdfunding.
Dude, we're
The
so
company
done.
also announced it is testing a robot that fries chicken wings for Wing Zone. The global
And here's the thing about it, Rich. You're saying you're not going to work at a what you call it? I mean, you're not going to eat at an automatic restaurant, at an automated restaurant, which is like an automatic restaurant, yeah. But guess what? When you go to Costco or Walmart and you go grocery shopping, you're going to be buying stuff that was delivered by a self-driving truck. There's no way to get around this shit, dude. It's going to be everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but in enough places to where you're like, damn. So it looks like no one has a job anymore, right? It's the Terminator War is coming. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. Will there be a robot hand that gives four-wheelers the bird? Probably. Well, no. That's the beauty about it.
global fast food industry is a $273 billion business, including more than 280,000 fast food restaurants in the U.S. alone. At this White Castle on the outskirts of Chicago, staff in the busy lunch hour shift face a barrage of orders coming from drive-through customers as well as the main counter.
Would you like to try any mac and cheese bites today? Oh, thank you. If the screen's correct, it is 1042, second window, please.
I used to work fast food. That was my first actual job. I was pretty much just hanging around Jack in the Box when my friend was at work. And then the lady who owned the restaurant was like, just saw me hanging around there with my homie when my homie was at work because I had nothing else to do. And she was like, hey, what the fuck can you do for me? I was like, I don't know. And she was like, look, come here. So she took me out to the drive-thru, and there was a light that was kind of flickering. She was like, can you fix that for me? I was like, yeah, fuck it. All right. So she said she would pay me like $150 to fix it, you know? So I called my dad, who's a carpenter, but carpenters know everything, especially carpenters that have been around the whole time. So he walked me through how to strip down the wire and how to splice it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we cut the power to that part, to that part of the drive-through for a little bit when I was out there working on it, so I don't get electrocuted. I fixed the light, and then eventually she just hired me, and that was my first job, dude. And it fucking sucked working at Jack in the Box. It was my first job, and guess what I used to do? I used to go out on my lunch breaks and get stoned in my car, and most of the time I didn't even have eye drops. I would come in to the kitchen bloodshot, loaded, and I would fuck up all the orders, all of them. I was fucking terrible, right? The lady loved me. Even when I would come in all stoned like that, she would just laugh, you know? She'd give me free food. Like that was the thing. After work, she would let me get down on the fryer and leave with all kind of shit. Free food, you know? She would rather have Flippy than my dumb ass working there, right? I moved to the mountains. I know how to fish and hunt. That army training is paying off. Oh, you're no longer over there in the Central Valley no more?
Very fast paced. We're all in our positions, but we do move around, jump about to help out to get the orders out.
But meager salaries, fewer teenagers in the workforce, and fear of COVID have been a drain on fast food restaurants. Job openings at restaurants and hotels reached 1.3 million in November 2022, the 20th consecutive month with over 1 million vacancies.
But the job sucks, dude. No one wants to do that shit. Who wants to work fast food?
Bars and restaurants.
And you know the thing about working fast food is it's the ultimate loser job. Like, oh, you work at McDonald's? Damn, oh shit, so you moved to Arizona? Okay. No more Portals, right? No more Porterville? Damn.
Make up about 90% of those positions. A typical fast food worker makes about $26,000 a year, compared with a concierge at a hotel who can earn more than $37,000.
During the pandemic, we faced a lot of staffing challenges.
How much?
More than $37,000.
So they earn 10,000 more, but the fast food worker works way harder than the concierge. The concierge, what do? They wear a nice outfit and open the door for you and just stand there. That could be automated. We don't even need that. Who the fuck needs a concierge? Right? That's not even, man. You know why? Because the big corporations, the fast food industry, they set it up this way to pay their workers shit. That's really what it comes down to. Now they want Flippy.
We faced a lot of staffing challenges, and things are better, but there's still challenges with staff in many locations.
To assist workers, White Castle
Look
egged
at
Flippy
this.
to take over its fry station.
No, you're right. What you just said. Fast food was supposed to be a starter job for kids. These are grown adults working there.
The robot cooks food more consistently and doesn't require
People are
time off.
struggling, man.
And I think some restaurants are also looking at this as a way of, well, this robot is expensive, but is it cheaper than however many employees I would need to hire? Especially
Yes.
because a lot of workers have not been sticking around as long as they're used to.
Yes. No one wants to work these jobs, but people need to work these jobs. That's why they're working the job. I don't think anyone wants to go and work at White Castle, Jack in the Box, McDonald's, Burger King. They do it because they're strapped and they need money. You know what I mean? That's the same thing with trucking. Especially when people become truck drivers and they find out how much this job sucks. They don't want to do the job. They need to do the job. And now they're being automated off.
This is one of the positions that is the hardest to fill and hardest to retain for restaurant operators. There are dozens of positions.
Who wants to
back
work
of
the
house.
fryer?
This one is a really demanding one. It's hot and it's very, very fast paced.
Hot.
Robots like Flippy
Yeah.
have other problems for restaurants too.
I used to take orders at Jack in the Box, and the fryer fucking sucked. Dude, I burnt myself hella times working the fryer. And when you're on that fryer, you got to move your ass, dude. And yeah, every now and then you're going to burn some shit.
For starters, fast food work can be dangerous. In California, the state with the highest number of people employed in the fast food industry, workers face health hazards, ranging from overflowing sewage, smoke inhalation, and extreme heat, according to one study.
Damn.
Turnover is another headache for the industry. Prior to the pandemic, the restaurant industry faced a workforce turnover of 130%, according to Panera Bread's CFO, Michael Buffon.
Yeah, dude, because it's terrible. You're dealing with people, and the customers that go into your fast food restaurant, they're terrible. They're rude, they're nasty, they're homeless, they're drug addicts, dude. Another part of the job is you got to get homeless people out of your bathroom that are shooting up drugs, right? 3 years not tapped out. Fast food, yeah, hell yeah, dude. No one wants to work it. That's another reason why they want Flippy.
Bufano. At the same time, low-wage workers made up 43% of the U.S. workforce.
As you look at the labor allocation within the restaurant, that's being able to ship one human from that station somewhere else, and that's saving every single month probably somewhere around $700 to $900 in actual profit.
Another incentive for restaurants, hard-to-fill positions have forced chains to push hourly wages to new highs.
The wages have been very low in these industries. They've really been very much pegged to the minimum wage, so that when the minimum wage has been allowed to decline in real terms, that is, it hasn't kept up with inflation, then those jobs get progressively less and less attractive.
Labor is one of the biggest costs restaurants face, averaging about 25 to 30% of sales.
So you live in Arizona, your pension goes 30% further? Well, yeah, dude, once you leave California, you could breathe a little bit. I'm glad you moved out of here, dude. This sucks out here.
McDonald's said it would reach an average of $15 an hour by 2024 at all company-owned restaurants. Starbucks said it was bringing its pay floor for U.S. baristas to $15 an hour.
Flippy don't need none of that.
Made 5 billion restaurant visits in the year ending July 2022, including 4.3 billion trips to fast food eateries. Restaurants often have thin margins, which is one of the reasons why adoption of automation has been slow. But that could be changing as the cost of robots has declined by 50% over the last 3 decades.
They're cheaper than
Industrial
people.
robot usage has tripled over the past decade from about 1 million in 2010 to 3 million in 2020. The auto industry, by far the largest segment in the market, is followed by electronics, food and beverage, and metals and machinery.
And
the
trucking.
industrial robotics market is expected to reach $81 billion by 2028, up from almost $42 billion in 2021.
Wow, you see?
But will those trends impact Miso's business?
Robots are hard to develop and they're expensive to develop. It takes a lot of time and money and frankly a lot of engineers to get all the technology working together smoothly.
But you know what? In the long run, it's cheaper than a human. And it doesn't go home. It doesn't talk back. It doesn't unionize. No. It doesn't get sick. It doesn't call in sick. It'll work through a pandemic. You know? You don't have to worry about Flippy commuting to and from work. No. Flippy will just fucking live there, and Flippy's going to love doing the job. Right? Way better than this chick right here who might sue you. I want Flippy.
Miso makes money by having more and more robots in the field.
In 2021, Miso spent $1.5 million on R&D, $7.8 million on salaries, $6 million on sales and marketing,
Hold
and
on.
a little over $6 million on
Hold
overhead
up.
and salaries. $6 million.
7.8 million on I thought this was the fast food restaurant.
On sales and marketing, and a little over $6 million on overhead and administrative expenses. Revenue was just $36,000 in 2021, mostly from the deployment of one Flippy.
Right now, it seems like Miso Robotics is probably the biggest and best known player in the space.
Competitors is a pretty small pool at the moment. We've been on the forefront of this for a long time, but they are coming, and we know the ones that aren't here today will be here tomorrow.
Robot adoption could
Damn,
come quickly
look at
in a
that.
similar fashion to the way delivery apps revolutionized the restaurant space. The global food delivery app business is over $150 billion, triple the amount it was in 2017. And that would be welcome news for fast food restaurants who face pressures ranging from rising food costs to staff turnover.
Damn.
Americans spent $2.1 trillion on food in 2021, with more than half of that money going to food away from home purchases.
The tide has turned. This is
people
this
eat
is
out a
no longer
lot.
a question of are robotics coming to the industry. It's a foregone conclusion. The question is, at what pace and in what form?
And what you will see in the months
Yeah,
and
they're
years
already
ahead
here.
for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, this is the same thing that I've been telling these truck drivers. Okay, it's not about is self-driving technology going to affect the industry? When is it going to come to the industry? It's already here. If you just tuned in right now, we covered Aurora, the self-driving trucks, in the beginning of the live stream. Now we're on to Flippy in the fast food industry. The self-driving trucks are already here. They're already here, dude.
It's more and more automation solutions like Flippy 2 being deployed in everyday restaurants, including some of the best known brands in the world.
Damn. There goes your job. Once again, if no one has jobs, who could buy the food? So if half, if not more, of the restaurants will go out of business. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, that's true, huh? They'll automate themselves out of business because they're not going to have customers, because no one's going to have money. And, you know, the little money that they do get, they're going to spend that on actual groceries because they're not going to have enough money to go to Burger King. Unless if this automation somehow cuts prices. Because check this out. Like, say no one has a job no more, right? Well, people are going to have jobs, but let's say like half of the workforce is automated, okay? And those people don't have jobs, right? Well, like you said, that'll be less customers going into McDonald's. So what is McDonald's going to have to do to lure customers in? They might have to make a cheeseburger 50 cents again. I would love to live in that, you know. That's probably not going to happen though. The CEOs, they're not going to bring the burger prices down to 50 cents. They're not going to do that, you know. Even with Flippy, they're not going to do that. Look, maybe they're going to have to do like universal basic income. And a lot of people like the idea of that. They like the idea of just getting free money from the government because they won't have to work no more. It's not going to be that easy. That would be fucked up. That would be horrible. Because then it's like the government is in charge of how much money you're going to get paid, right? If you sign up for UBI. So what? If I'm not like transgender or a person of color, I get less money. You know, so what? All the white people are going to get less money because they're not a victim or of like the intersectionality, you know, like woke stuff or whatever. They're the oppressor, so the oppressor gets less money. So people of color, Mexicans, black people, and then especially the LGBT community, they're going to get like the bigger universal basic income paychecks. Maybe, maybe, right? Oh man, this is depressing, right? AI, it's definitely going to affect the trucking industry. So how is it going to affect the trucking industry? Socialism does suck. It's needed, but it sucks, especially when there's no capitalism to fund the socialism. The reason why America is so great is because we have a good capitalist system that pays for our socialist programs like Medicare, Social Security. That's all. Socialism works great when you have a strong capitalist system to fund it. Once you let go of one for the other, you're fucked. You're fucked, dude. There has to be an even balance of both, right? So here's the thing, right? You're watching too much Fox. No, you're just a fucking idiot. That's what it is. Okay? If you don't think they're going to try some shit like that, dude, UBI would be fucking terrible. You know what the end result's going to be? Is crime is going to go through the roof. If all these people lose their jobs due to automation, it's not just your car that's going to get broken into. Your house is going to get broken into. You're going to get robbed walking down the street. If all of these people are out of work, yeah, crime is going to go through the roof, dude. That's what's going to happen. As far as trucking goes, this is what I see happening. It's going to start with the mega carriers. they're going to adopt this self-driving technology. And then other companies, even unionized companies, are going to adopt this technology, right? Because just because your union contract doesn't mean that UPS, ABF, even the food service companies, it doesn't mean that they can't invest their money into self-driving technology. Why would they want to go into the future paying out pensions if they could just get these self-driving trucks and just not hire you no more and completely just automate the job, right? These contracts at places like UPS and ABF, they're for truck drivers for that position. They could just open up a new position and just lay all you guys off. And now they got a self-driving truck and they have new job positions that aren't unionized. Well, that fixes that problem. You know, big corporations, they don't like unions. They don't like to pay you money in company paid healthcare and in pensions and all that and benefits. No, I want to make the most money that I can and pay out as little money as possible for me to make my money. When I start a company, when I start a business, I'm not worried about providing jobs that are going to provide for someone's family, for someone's kids. When I start a company, right? Let's say I start a roofing company, okay? You think I'm worried about your kid, about your wife? No, I'm worried about making money. I'm worried about buying materials, quality materials at the lowest price possible and charging the customer as much money as I can for me to make my profit and to pay my employees as little as I have to, you know, to where they're not going to sue me and they're going to be okay. And I don't want them to unionize so I can make the most money. That's what corporate America is all about. And that's why we're seeing them invest heavy into all this AI stuff. Okay. So, yeah, it's going to affect the trucking industry. And the end result is these truckers are going to lose their jobs and they're going to be out on their ass. And it's going to affect all the other industries. All these truckers, now all of a sudden, they're going to want to join the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Okay. So you're going to see a scramble into construction. You're going to see a scramble even into like cheaper jobs like forklift jobs. You're going to see a scramble into the local trucking sector, right? It's going to fucking overflood the rest of the job market, dude. It's going to be a bad thing. And then supply and demand. Once you have more workers applying for all these jobs, now you can pay them less, right? Union or not. AI sucks. It's here. It's here to stay. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. And that was a live stream. They're going to probably call me to unload this truck pretty soon. AI, it's here. Your job's on the chopping block. Peace out. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by in tonight's live stream.